Okay, so we are recording right now, and let's see, just to kind of get rolling with it, since we had some technical difficulties at the beginning here. So this week we talked, well, we didn't talk about it yet, but we read about the lines of communication, so first off, wants us to kind of go down and talk about what is health literacy and I guess, why is it important? So what is health literacy first?
Okay.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, can you guys hear me? Yeah? Okay. So, at least what I gathered really is the knowledge that you have of what health terms mean and what different health related things are, so that you're not just in the dark. You're aware of the situation, you're aware of what's going on, you're aware of health problems and things around you.
Okay, very good. That's kind of the overall gist of it, right? It's a mode of communication based for health communication to education and inform other people, modules, interventions. Taylor, do you have anything you'd like to add to that, or?
No, not really. I pulled up my notes from it, and I was thinking yeah, it's basically just communication of health concerns and health behaviors and all that.
Next portion we're supposed to take care of is why is it important, this health literacy communication? Why is it important?
I think it's so that the community or whoever you're talking to about it can know about it. So then it's because ignorance is not always bliss, despite the common saying, because you want to know about health and you want to know what is good for you. So then you can know that if you do get sick, you can figure out how to change something so then you can get better, kind of thing.
Good. How would this communication apply right now with what's going on in the U.S.?
I would think that one thing would, because with the corona going on, some people think that hand sanitizer is going to save them and stocking up on toilet paper, but that's not necessarily true, because virus is a virus. Hand sanitizer isn't going to help you as much as they think it is. Yeah, it can help with preventing bacterial things that could happen, but there's still going to be the coronavirus because they haven't figured out how to treat it yet.
Right. I do like how it's being communicated a little more broadly now. It was more of a scare and a panic at the beginning when China started shutting its borders.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that there was a lack of communication. So this is where our reading comes into play here. A lack of communication and understanding. So they're trying to send a message, but they were sending it and as a panic. So what did everybody go do? They went and grabbed supplies of stuff that they didn't need, right? So with that, we're supposed to go over the 7-step components of Shannon Weaver portion. You want me to bring it up on the screen, or is this, yeah, is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's with his card, and I may not be right now, but I feel like
I'll have to bring it over and then share my screen here.
And therefore, because those things are possible, I feel like they don't invite the spirit. I mean, I just like they don't invite the spirit as much as the spirit could be invited. Even though there's always good, better, less.
Okay. Actually, my screen, here it is. All right. So we're going to share this one right here.
Or I don't know. Because it just kind of just shows other people, and it just,
Yeah.
I feel like not to be like judgmental in any way or anything, but I feel like
So we're
they
gonna-
say it on
There it is.
there.
Okay, so here's the Shannon Weaver model, action model of communication, right?
It's more of like,
We're going to go over it briefly.
not that they're doing
Um,
I feel like it's more,
So the first portion, if you
let's say in wants.
here, shows the sender. Why is the sender important? What's the sender do?
And those,
So then the chain can start, I would think.
they kind of distract.
Okay. So it's basically the source, right? It's where the information's coming from.
But equally, like,
So it's important for us as
it's just equally.
public health administrators and whatever, if we're dealing with public health, we want to be able to package up and send information in a manner that it can
Like
be
it's church property.
section of 7 steps is to ensure that we don't miss a step and everything that we're trying to communicate is passed on.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
So encoding, this is kind of a
It's just,
little bit harder to understand. What is
I
encoding?
don't know. I feel like.
Well, to me, the encoding's really kind of like how it's being sent out. Like not necessarily the message itself, but like in what way, like what voice tone, that sort of thing is how it's like being sent out.
Kind of, for instance, like it shows up here, there's a movie where they were using Navajo language because other parts of the world didn't know how to, break down that language, the Navajo language, to break the code. So it's as simple as sending it in English. It could be sending it in a text form. Let's move on to the next portion, message. Why is message important?
Because it's not word, it's not the words.
Well, I kind of think that it's like the message needs to be important, and the way that it's said is also going to be a component, because kind of like how like the noise lightning bolt there, it can influence the message. So then you want to make sure that everything is okay with it and all that fun stuff.
Okay, perfect. And so a lot of the noise that's been going on is the hype with the coronavirus right now. Everybody else is panicking. That's the noise. And so it's convoluting the message that they're trying to get across, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Nice job on that one. I don't want to necessarily get rid of the top portion here.
So,
Yeah.
I
Why is the channel important to sending a message?
But the Lord provides a way for all of that, and I feel like it's very individual and personal.
Well, like we said, the panic that's happening because everyone is part of that channel. Because whether the person is panicking or whether the person is totally calm about it, it depends on what situation that they feel or like how they're saying it.
Okay. That's pretty good. A good example of that, I don't know if you were able to see last night, the president got on and talked about the coronavirus and was kind of sharing some details. Having him on the television, giving the address to the nation, that's a form of channel right there. Getting the message through the television, or if he would have called us on the phone, it would have been a message on the phone. So that's what a channel is. Decoding. Now this is important. Okay, this is an important step for us as we're trying to transmit information for public health reasons. Why is decoding so important?
Well, that's the way that we as the receiver.
Okay.
Can you hear me that way? Okay, so that's like the way is we the receiver understand the message. So depending on what the message is, it's like how are we perceiving it? Are we understanding it? Are they getting their point across to us in the way that they want to? Correct?
That's correct. If we were, researchers doing, let's say like working the biostatistics of the coronavirus right now, and we just turned around and we gave that direct information, sorry, my dogs are barking. If we turned around and packaged that information and sent it to the citizens, they would have a hard time understanding what we're trying to tell them. So they don't have that knowledge. They don't have the background to understand it. So it's real important that as we're dealing with our target populations, we're able to break it down into common vernacular words, vocabulary that they can understand. Okay. And that leads us right into the receiver. So, or in this case, our target population, when we're trying to communicate, they're the person we're trying to pass the information to. If we're just sending it and not face to face, it's really kind of hard to make sure that they're receiving it properly. Is that correct? Okay. So what are some things that we can do as a sender to ensure that the receiver is able to understand what's going on?
Go ahead, Amanda.
Okay, so I think one thing that we can do is you're kind of talking about like we can use small words that people will understand. We don't want to put a whole bunch of stuff in a bunch of like technical terms that people are going to look at and be like, oh my goodness, it's worse than I thought, freak out. But we want, usually with health related things, we want people to keep like an open mind to different things. We don't want to necessarily put them in panic. So I think just like our voice tone throughout the message, as well as, I remember what I had. So voice tones, and I think just like how clearly we're communicating that as well. Like we don't want to over discuss it either, because when you tend to like over discuss things, it can be a problem. I think, and then you don't want to under discuss because people are going to freak out. So you want to give like just the right amount of information that is going to be helpful to the population or the receiver without overdoing it on either way.
Perfect. So very good. You alluded to the fact that there's a lot of noise that we could be sending. We have to break it down, and I think you started talking about these down here at the bottom. So your form, your length, your topic, your mode, your setting, know your target audience, the type of language and readability in the message. But at the same time, here's where a lot of noise and confusion comes from. Speaking slowly, focusing on and repeat the key message. If you've been watching any of the CDC announcements, even though she says don't touch your face or whatever, and she licks her fingers, I thought that was kind of funny. But
you serious?
The one thing that's important is that they're out there, they're educating the public. And in a situation like this, I feel that almost too much information kind of muddies the water. People will pick and choose
I think it only just like
what they understand and change the message, almost like playing the old telephone game when we were kids. So it's important to stick to the message, be clear and concise and short and direct in a sense like this. We're supposed to watch a video, if I bring it over.
Right. I was kind of sad about that. I was like, no.
This video,
Okay, no, it's gonna be funny. I'm gonna make a joke, but it's just gonna be sad.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna play it here. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me.
The others will have to laugh at me. They were like, they will be, and then it will feel so weird for them to not have audience there. So like, I don't know. I'm excited for that. Like, they'll be looking directly at
playing? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time.
It just feels like when like you say you just want to talk.
My text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention.
It was just for you, and you were just like, they were talking just to me. Like, I don't know, just like a lot of like those kind of stuff. I'm like excited for that.
Let
They
me
want to be like family.
ask the questions here. So, of the message, what was being sent? So who's the sender here?
I guess it's whoever is posting the video.
One?
I think it's the, oh goodness, okay, sorry. I think it's definitely the person who, well, I think kind of in a way they're both the senders, but I think mainly the girl who was texting. She was the one driving on the right side of the road. Like she had her kids in the car. She was trying to communicate like that you shouldn't text and drive.
Now, I think you're both right in the fact that obviously the person who made the video is communicating something specific, correct? But
Yeah.
in the video, both were sending information back and forth. One of the, let's see, what's the next step? So once how is it encoded? What's the message being sent here?
Texting and driving is bad.
See, like, I'm so game for going down, but I'm just
Right.
worried that someone's going to try to
So-
stop me.
I lost my train of thought on the steps here, but
Someone will.
the
Well,
next,
I did mention it to my mom. My mom's like, I don't think you should do that. I'm like, Mom, the spirit tells me not to, and I won't. But she hasn't told me that yet, so I'm still going.
one that came in was a video format. So that was the encoding. What's the noise that's going on?
It's my roommate. She's
No,
doing
I mean,
dishes.
like on the
Oh.
communication level.
Um,
Honestly, I don't know. It's not just
I don't
go
know.
back to class on Wednesday.
Would it be the texting?
Okay. What
Maybe
else is
because
going
that
on in the
would
car?
be this.
Who was in the car with her?
Oh, it would be the friends and the children in the two cars.
Right. So the gal who was texting had music on in the background, and her friends were talking and laughing, kind of taking her attention off the road. And although the mother had her kids in the car, she maintained her lane. So I think there's a little bit less noise going on that side.
All night anyway, so we don't like.
So overall, how was it decoded, this message? Decoding the message for like us receiving it.
I don't think it'll get drastically worse. No,
Taking away from it.
honestly, I don't know. I don't know about you. I have like zero fear of coronavirus.
So you mean like,
I don't know. It's kind of exciting.
She just hung up on me.
Whoops.
sorry, I didn't know what happened there. Okay, so you're saying like how are we receiving the message? Is that correct?
Yeah. What's your understanding of the message?
I think mainly like what I definitely understood from it is like we shouldn't text and drive. I think that like it helps us understand, like especially from like a mother's perspective and like other people on the road, like usually most of the time it's like adults of some sort, like either driving from or to work, or mothers driving their kids places, that like we need to be aware of other people that are on the road. Like, we don't want to be like that teenager who maybe she thought she was doing something good because she was texting her mom, but like she wasn't doing it in the safest way, for sure. And we can see that from an outside perspective.
Okay, very good. All right, so and then the overall message is wrapped up kind of nice for us because it ends with showing the being hit on real fast, right? And so
I probably should do this, but I'm like, I don't think.
involved in what happened next without actually showing it.
Okay. This last week.
Let me see. So us as the receiver, we got the message. It's pretty clear. Next thing that we're supposed to do is kind of go over the application assignment for this week and brainstorming ideas for any answers. It's an individual assignment, but we're supposed to talk about it. So I don't have it up right now. Let me see if I can grab it real quick.
Yeah. Or no, we can come after, but yeah. Yeah, I read that it was like 30 plus or something.
Let's kind of like look at this together and see if we have any
That makes sense.
ideas.
I don't know, it was interesting, but like, this, I don't know, told me to-
They don't actually have like a worksheet this week, right? It's just like has a worksheet and it has like a bunch of numbers, correct?
Right, this is it right here. So I think I'm just going to make a Word file, complete a worksheet over communication intervention strategies. So we're going to go back and kind of check through this right here, which the chapter 11 reading. So we're supposed to review that. Identify 7 key components, which we did. That's the Shannon Weaver components on how to change. That's the same.
Just like copying all over me in my car. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. Okay. And I was like, well, yeah.
What was your question?
So I'm thinking, because it doesn't mention the Shannon Weaver portion, like in the reading, it had so many different key components about communication intervention. So I don't know if this is the exact, if number 2 is asking about the Shannon Weaver one that we just, the sender, the encoding message with the noise, everything that we just did. So I'll have to kind of go back through that portion to kind of look at it. But research on the internet or in your community 3 different communication intervention strategies to evaluate. So 3 different strategies used to evaluate this area. So a public service announcement on television, one on the radio, and static or web banner, billboard, or print and newspaper. So we can kind of just put our minds together and think about some of the stuff that's going on. For instance, a public safety announcement might be something like, hey, if you're sick, don't go out in public. It might be as easy as make sure you wash your hands, don't touch your face. Anything else? I don't know what's going on where the 2 of you are from, but in California, I mean, it's been kind of dry in Northern California. It's been raining, so they're already talking about things like conserving water and so like don't let your sprinklers run too long. Just certain things like that. It's small. It's maybe not terribly health related, but it will be if we continue on through it. So those are some of the ideas that I have. How about you? You got anything, either of you?
I mean, this doesn't apply all the time, of course. Usually, so I'm from Arkansas, that's where I am. Usually we have enough rain, but kind of going along with like the water thing and stuff. You know, sometimes they're like if it's a super dry season during the summer, or we have a couple of weeks without rain, it gets really, really dry. And so like they advise against fires, like don't be lighting fireworks off on the 4th of July, that sort of thing, just because it's a safety hazard for the public and all those around. I think another thing is like we get flooding here as well sometimes. We get kind of a little bit of everything. It's kind of ridiculous. ridiculous.
Same in Montana.
Yeah, but they advise you to like be careful on the roads and not like take too many turns. I guess with like health related things, I mean we're kind of teetering on the border of like the south, so like they advise you to eat healthy. Not everybody, mostly people don't listen, but you know, it's still advised.
Yeah, that's good. Those are all really good. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for 3 different strategies that are being put out to evaluate. So with that, I don't know how much we need to put into this as far as it says a great source is on the Ad Council's website under our campaigns. They have a number of different communication intervention examples to look at. But for each of the 3 that you choose, identify the 7 key components. Okay, so there it is, from the Shannon-Weaver model. The sender encoding message, channel, decoding receiver, and noise. List the components and then describe in detail the example for each. So it's seems pretty basic. Is there any questions on that? Everybody understands that, correct? Okay. Evaluate each example by answering the following questions. What impact did the message have on you as the receiver?
Yeah.
What noise do you think affects the message on you and how? And do you feel the message is decoded the same as it was encoded? Why? I think that's kind of the key takeaway, just to make sure communication is done. So just type up responses to each example and submit your completed document here.
Don't talk about it.
Pretty simple. Any questions, anything you want to review from this week's reading?
Do you think we have to work cite our sources?
I would at least, like, if you found a link, at least post a link so you can follow along with what's going on. But yes, I think that's probably a good idea.
All right. I can't really think of any questions I have.
Okay, good. That was pretty short and sweet this week, so fairly easy. Is this the last meeting that we have?
I think so,
I
yeah.
believe so. Yeah.
Because this is week 10 and it's at 7 through 10, so.
Okay, so we don't have a group leader or anything next week. All right.
We shouldn't.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here real quick if I can get back to it.
All right. Thanks, Doug, so much.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thank you both for showing up, right?
No problem. I'm
Even
just
though
glad I remembered.
voice didn't work this time. You're saying something about like